Let's go. Is the Underground World News Live here on this January 22nd, 2025. And welcome to the show. Mic check 1 2. Much love. Thank you, Skeeby. Thank you, IQ, for dropping that sub to the Underground. Appreciate it to the fullest, guys. Try to get everything lined up over here. All right. Looking good. Feedback's good. All right. Thank you, Deanne, Gabe, all the mods. Good to see everybody out there. Pixie, Hoodie. Much love. Everybody out there, man. Well, we've got plenty to talk about, as usual. NKY in the house. I see you. Lisa, Brian, my knights, Walk with God, Geo. Much love. Thank you, Kev Bar, for sharing the stream. Hoodie, Tacos, all you guys that share it. It's appreciated to the fullest. And yeah, it's get this thing going. We've got, as you can see in the title, we got some stuff to tear into. We're going to talk about this Stargate AI project, which is, it's huge. It's basically them dropping a lot of what we always have warned about in terms of the infrastructure, AI overseeing everything. We're going to tear into that. The incoming beast blockchain. It all ties into it together. We're going to bring it full circle. I have been warning you about the Beast blockchain since 2017. I got a video right here on this channel. Thank you, Jeff. God bless. Thank you for the super chat. We're going to tear into the Beast blockchain. Again, bring it all full circle so people could see clearly what's happening here. Also go over some other breaking news and updates. With that said, if you got anything you need to get to me, dabu7@yahoo.com is the email, or you can tag me at dabu77 in the chat. It'll light it up in red. Hopefully I don't miss it. We're going to get this show on the road. Let's start off here with an update in space real quick. This is of Comet Atlas. I told you how it survived going by the sun. It looks like it really didn't. The nucleus has disintegrated. They're saying that it was overstressed by its close encounter with the sun, but no nucleus, no problem. It can still put on a show. It's still got a tail that is magnificent. And they're seeing this in the skies in Australia and other places. It's lighting up brilliantly. Here's one right there. Look at that. This was taken in Argentina, and they also caught the Starlink satellite going by in the exposure in the sky. Minx, much love. Thank you for the coffees and the support. Appreciated to the fullest. But you look how massive that is in the sky. Man, you don't get to see these even every lifetime. And we've had several, throughout the years. But this one, lighting up big if you can catch it. Wanted to share that with you. If you get any good shots, please let me know. I'd love to share them. But yeah, those are from the southern hemisphere. Us being up here in the northern, we're missing some of those shots, man. All right, we've got the grid declaring a max generation alert. And this is as the polar vortex has unleashed a mini ice age across a lot of the area. And I've seen people chiming in from all over the place. It's cold flat out there. It's dangerously cold, deadly cold. I tried to put a warning out on the last stream. By now, everyone's feeling it and getting hit by it. God knows how I have been. I think I posted, when I looked down, was it today, this morning? I forget, 9 degrees. And people were chiming in. Beavis Lee Ray, much love. Thank you for that. 9 degrees was not even the low. It was just the current temp that I had said. It got down to like 1 or 0, pretty much. Here on a mountaintop, it's even colder than that, I'm telling you. And Gina, thank you for the coffees. Much love. Appreciate the support. Again, thank you, Beavis. I just hope everyone's staying warm, doing good out there. All types of different options. It would be smart to have multiple options. We were supposed to have a propane hookup as a good backup with the tank, and all that. A lot of people out in the mountains, that's how they get by. They use a propane tank or something like that to get filled up once a year or whatever, depending on the size of the tank. And it helps them heat the home, cook, heat the water, do all these things at a cheaper rate than other ways to do it. Having several options is good. Kerosene heaters, another old school one out there that always do the job. In a good old wood burner. God knows I've utilized all of them. And thank you, Arma. Yes, we're going to talk about that. Thank you for the coffees and the support. We're going to tear into that. But yeah, just stay warm out there, guys. This is almost over. And when looking at the weather, it looks like the following week coming up, it warms up nicely, 40s and 50s, up out of these teens. And yeah, looking forward to it. Now, I, for one, am someone that's been out there chopping wood for months, getting ready, try to get through this winter, doing everything I could to prepare. So $5 kerosene, try 6. Um, $5 for 1 pound of containers in Virginia. Well, right before all this, we were going to get a couple propane tanks for the grill uh, filled, and oh man, we went to Tractor Supply, and there was a line, and people were complaining. And this lady pulled in, had this big old tank. She's like, "I've been everywhere, and I can't find. No one's got it." Blah blah blah. I'm sitting there thinking, my gosh. I was like, "What do these? What does someone do if that's their only source, their only way to heat a home, and they can't get filled?" And sure enough, we get up to the guy, and the guy's like, "Man, I might have enough to fill you guys' tanks." And that was our little 20-pounder tank. She had a big tank behind us. I was sitting there thinking, man, what do people like that do? They're going to be done. They're going to have no propane, no heat. But, man, it's been a while since we've seen a winter like this. But it's almost over. Anyway, I'm going to keep pushing here. I don't know if you guys are playing video games out there, who all's into video games or anything, how much they go for these days and this and that, but they're talking the new Grand Theft Auto is going to go for $100, and that just caught my attention. Like, wow, you know, everything just getting more and more and more and more expensive. One thing you won't see anymore are these canoe EVs. They are filing for bankruptcy. Another one bites the dust. This EV scam that was pushed on everyone. I mean, it's nice to have an option if you want it, but not too many people want to use it. And some of these companies, thinking that they were getting to the next big boom, next big thing, finding out the hard way. And like Canoe here, filing for bankruptcy, ceasing operations immediately. It will liquidate all of its assets. So yeah, seems like all the time that's what I'm reporting. These places are failing. All these EV places are just going down the tubes. Now, Trump getting in office, he's changing some things in terms of all that too. We'll get to that here in just a second. But it's just not looking good. Now, just imagine someone that did buy into the EV stuff. Imagine. There's very little stations across the country at this point. As I said before, the ones that are out there in remote locations, they're getting targeted and they're getting hit. Thieves are jacking them. They're clipping the charging cable for the copper in it. And people are planning road trips across the country, and they pull into a lot that is dead, that is completely wiped out. All the copper's gone, stripped. They can't charge, and they're done. You can't just go down the block into it and hit another gas station. You're done. You're like dead in the water. Then you have to be towed. Like, that's insane. That's just crazy. No. Don't think so. I'll pass. Now, they're out there saying that the economy is going from an anti-business administration into the exact opposite. And what this is doing, it's making CEOs kind of giddy. People are kind of happy here and think, gee. They see an opportunity now, and rightfully so. For the past 4 years, like every single show, I have reported on companies getting shut down, folding, and I'm talking staple companies that have been around for a long time, going bankrupt, gone, bye-bye, no longer in existence. And it really changes the way that this country looks in all that. But we'll see what happens here. Trump is a businessman. I'll give him that. All the politics aside, the one thing he better be able to do is lay out some good business tactics and get this place back on par. But a couple big events happen that are out of his control. It's going to change everything. I don't know. Take what you can get, though, right? This is in terms of the positives. When it comes to Trump, we call him out on all of his crap. But if he's doing something good, you got to give him the props. You got to be fair and balanced on all of it. So let's hope he can give a boost to all these businesses. People need it, man. People need it big time. Yeah, look at Bally's in Chicago, the casino up here. You'll never see me there unless we're up there like chanting them down, boycotting them, or something crazy. Look what they say here. No white men allowed. That's right. They don't want no white men to be a part of the share offering that's being promoted by city officials. They ought to get sued. Straight up. Straight up. Why not? How not? If this was any other color, any other people, they'd have them immediately. It's such a racist thing to do right at the gate. I mean, you should have them. Like, boom. And maybe you will under how things are changing in the atmosphere here. This way of thinking and this mindset needs just washed away. They want to turn around and say, "Oh, white supremacists, you're all neo-Nazi right-wingers and all this crap," but they're the ones that are racist. It seems they're scared of the white man for some reason. And just want to dog him out. And they don't say that. And what's crazy is you look some of the upper echelons who've sold us out, like your Anthony. Yeah. Well, I was waiting on that to kick off there, the OBS off and on, get it out of the way. And I just mentioned Bill Gates. It looks like he's trying to go across the country, anywhere he can get in, not just the country, the world. And I got 5x5s back. All right, keep it pushing. States are rejecting it. I hope that you're in a state that's rejecting it. A lot of these states are set up different. Alan, thank you and much love. Appreciate it to the fullest. I don't trust none of it. I don't trust walking into any of these stores when they got this fake meat stuff. Look, I go by Wendy's, McDonald's, all these places that are out there, staples, big time businesses. And I've often just thought to myself, like, man, what are they serving? Like what kind of meat is it really? Like, come on. Like, gut and intuition tells you these things. And it's just like, I don't think it's good. All the experimenting that they do on the populace anyway, they let them get away with. Lab-grown meat, man, if your state's going to allow it on the shelves, man, you better find someone that deals with cattle. That's what I'm doing. I'm lucky enough to have an uncle that deals with cattle. And this spring, family's going to split a cow up, pack a freezer down, and that's the way that you should probably go. Go with someone that you know it's trusted, the processor's trusted. It's the best, safest way to go, if you ask me. You know everything that you're cooking and you're eating, where it came from, all that. So, yeah. Gates just nonstop, but he's getting backlash all over the place. California. It seems that the fires are just nonstop out here. Almost as if there's some kind of agenda or something like that. You can see here a brand new massive fire has broke out. This one, called the Hughes Fire, north of Los Angeles, threatening Interstate 5, and this is one of the main arteries that go into this region. They're saying that it started just before 11 a.m. local time and quickly spread to more than 5,000 acres, spurring evacuation orders around the, the region there. This is in northern Los Angeles County. And I know some of you guys are commenting saying that you're near some of these places, or not far from them. I wish now, Joe, when you see that, man, ban them. Ban hammer. Just ban hammer. There's obviously, you see, let me stop right there and just pause for a second. You got to get to know what they're doing here. If I have like one issue, the trolls of the government, whoever's watching the stream tonight, there are trolls assigned to my channel all the time, and they'll just go grab another account once you ban them. But if they see that there's some kind of issue, they're trained to try to keep hitting on it. Just to keep saying, just like the one dude, there's no sound, and start talking crap. But he gave himself away right there. It was pretty obvious, right? And you can see when they keep doing that, they're there just to sow confusion. I'm just clearing the air one time so that you know, and to cause a distraction. So I just depend on the mods and most of you that are always here. When you're throwing up the 5x5s and everything like that, I know it's back, and I just keep on pushing. If they think that they can do something, they'll jump on it. And everybody's connection is different also, and everyone should know just to refresh if there's an issue. It's usually the remedy. But when you see a bunch of people dropping 5x5s, yeah. But just heads up here again with these fires, they still do not have the Palisades fires and all them fully contained 100%. So huge areas. Now you got to deal with the Hughes fire. Here's one. We've got a California town, and this is Huntington Beach, California. They're pushing back against Gavin Newsom. They're pushing back against all the crap. And they're saying they vote unanimously to become a non-sanctuary city. If the governor refuses to fulfill his duty to protect Californians, they're saying that they will step up. So this is pretty big. Finally, the cities within the state are rising to the occasion to say, nah, you're not doing this no more. We're not playing this game. We're not going to be an area where you send in all these migrants or Trinidad or Agua or whoever the hell it's going to be flooding into their city. That status puts them on a map, on a sheet, where they're like, all right, this is a sanctuary city. Who wants to go here? And they start to fill them up. Well, you better hope you're not in one. This is a big move. I applaud them. You need to see more of this. You need to see an uprising, all in all, in California. An overthrow. I mean, you better take advantage of the pendulum swinging back the other way, the energy going the other way, the fact that Trump is in now, all these things are changing. They're dismantling everything that's on the left, all the establishment stuff, so to speak. We know it's a left-right paradigm. But here on the world stage, on the theater, that's what they're doing. And if they're doing that and they're shutting down DEI and they're doing all this stuff, well, you better take it as far as you can, and you better go after Newsom. Better get him out of there. But you got to understand how long California's been controlled by just a handful of families. And the Newsom that you see now is not the first Newsom. It goes all the way up to his grandpappies in the control of California. You do the research and you dig, you'll see the game. It's rigged. And the only way to stop it is for people to rise just like this, city by city, town by town, to have their meetings and declare what they're going to do and put it in concrete and reject any other crap. That's how you get things done, man. And once one town is successful in doing it, The neighboring town sees it like, oh crap. They jump on board and something begins. You give life to something. And then it starts to, no pun intended, spread like wildfire. And it just grows. You can't stop it. Oh man, Shadow Band, it's been like this for a long time. But when you're catching flack, you know you're over the target. Let's go over some of these executive orders that Trump just signed into action. I'm just going to hit on some of the things here. And I've got some separate stories that also tie into these. But border and immigration is a big one. He issued 10 executive actions on border security, including a national emergency declaration. And this paves the way to allow military deployment to our border, which has already begun, and the completion of a border wall, which he talked about last time but never did get to doing. So these executive orders set the stage for deportation operations, these ICE raids, right, cracking down on people, and they've begun. He orders to reinstate remain in Mexico. He ends the catch and release of illegal migrants. He designates the cartels as foreign terrorist organizations. He pauses the refugee resettlement program. He ends birthright citizenship. He brings back the death penalty for certain crimes against federal agents. By stopping catch and release and re-implementing these policies like remain in Mexico, those seeking asylum will no longer be able to live and work in the U.S. while awaiting a result on their claim. So that's just some of the stuff he did there. He signed an EO to reduce inflation, saying that the annual inflation rate right now is 2.9% compared to the 1.4% when he left office last time. He's obviously going to war using tariffs and sanctions, universal tariffs and things like that, and threatening all these people. A lot of it's threats, strong arming, just to make sure that they can get their way. And sure, some tariffs are definitely going to be put in place, but world is a stage, man. This world is a stage. I'm sure there's going to be some kind of trade stuff gets sparked up. Here's a positive. Trump signed an executive order to remove the United States of America from the World Sorry about that. Trump signs an executive order to remove the United States from the World Health Organization, or the WHO. That's a United Nations agency. The order also ends any negotiations on the organization's global pandemic treaty. So that's where we're at now. He also exits the Climate Pact, the 2015 Paris Climate Agreement, basically reissuing his 2017 executive order that he did on it because Biden rolled it back. He declares a national emergency on energy. So we're under multiple national emergencies. Okay? Multiple. So I don't know which one supersedes the other or the rest. I don't know. You could. I don't know. I mean, a national emergency is a national emergency, and they kind of fall into the same thing. They clamp down on everything, similar to the NDAA. So he's directed the Department of Interior to restore oil and gas leasings to 13 million acres, and he looks to fill our national reserve that Biden drained. And I told you when he was doing it, it was criminal. It looks like Trump's going to come in and fill it all right back up. He's going to end the EV agenda. As I was just telling you, he's putting an end to it altogether. He overturned an executive order from 2021 from Biden that required that by 2035, all vehicles that the government procures are emission free. And the whole EV thing, the whole scam, he basically did away with it. Doge going into effect, and it looks like it's solely on Elon. And he's caught like 4 lawsuits, this whole thing has already, right at the gate. And Vivek Ramaswamy is no longer a part of it. He also pardons all the J6ers. As we've talked about, he makes a rule on 2 sexes, not 72 different genders. That there's just two, male and female, all over the place with the bathrooms. There's no confusion. He changes the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. Also restores the name of McKinley to Mount McKinley in Alaska. And we look here with all those people that got released. I told you, we'd been praying big time for some of these guys to get out because you didn't want to see them rot and die in there. And I told you several times about how I felt about Joe Biggs. And was hoping that he would get out. He's out. So, prayers answered. Sometimes you got to stop and reflect and see where God came through. And for these guys that were in there facing like 17, 20 years behind bars, just for being there on J6, is crazy. I had heard his health was deteriorating. You know, all of them's health starts to go down the drain when they're in prison. When they're feeding you crap food, you're sleeping on this small metal bed frame, and I just seen complaints, even from him, stating that deplorable conditions. It depends on where you're serving your time and who you are and how they're putting it on you. But he's out, and that's big time. That's big time. I honestly couldn't see this whole administration going by without things like this happening anyway. Too many people are going to put the pressure on Trump to do something here. And I don't know, you never want to see no one in there, so he's free. It reminds me of when our man Hoodie Ross right there was hemmed up, locked up in the pen. We prayed that he would be back here with us, and he is. He's out there in the chat. So now Biggs free. It's just rather see guys free than sitting in the pen. That's for sure. But maybe, just maybe, if I can line it up and get an interview, get connected with him, we can have an exclusive or something and just get some insider information, all of it. That'd be interesting. I tried looking him up on Twitter. We used to message each other on there before he went in, and I guess it got nuked. And it hasn't been reinstated since. Maybe now that he's out, Elon do him a favor, give him his account back. We'll see what happens. If you don't know, today, all federal DEI offices were closed. All the workers placed on paid leave, and it ends. All the DEI stuff shut down. Game over. Which, again, you got to take the positives where you get them. Trump also fires 4 high-profile Biden appointees, including Mark Milley. You're going to see thousands of people getting the axe. He overhauls DHS. He disbands the entire advisory committee, citing misuse of resources. He also fires the TSA and the Coast Guard chiefs. So it's going down like it's a real deal. He is cleaning house. It's happening right in front of your face. I mean, it's happening. So, we knew there was going to be a shakeup, but I don't know. It's one thing to come in and say you're firing some of these people. It just makes me wonder, like, where are they sliding into? Do you got another spot you're quietly sliding them into? And this catches a lot of attention. You're fired. They're doing all this, but firing someone is one thing, but then putting people in prison that deserve to be there is another. I just I'll never get over the whole Hillary for prison thing. Fool me once. Like, It's all show. I don't forget with these people out here that got short memories or whatever. I feel that a bunch of people just jumped into this whole Trump thing, to feel comfortable. And like, they will turn a cheek to critical things, like what we're going to talk about here in just a second. They'll turn a cheek to it, and they will not call him out on it. They go quiet, like it's crickets, when we start talking about Mr. Warp Speed. They don't even have a shaky leg to stand on, because it's all facts. And they'll disappear. All these Trumpers, even people that I know, that are in my feeds, even people that I've liked, it disgusts me to see people pandering and, I'm not going to cuss, what called cockriding, brown nosing on people. I can't stand it. And to see people doing it to Trump over there and all this stuff, not just him, Elon too. It's just all the time. It's the same people always doing it. And it's like they're doing it for attention. And it's like, it's sickening. I can't stand it. Over there pandering to the AC. Or the Gentile Messiah, however you want to see it. We're in a world of hurt. And it's because of Trump and Elon going along with this whole thing. And they got the whole crowd involved. That was the whole ruse. You had to get everybody corralled into one pen, and they did that. They ran them against people you would hate, Biden and Kamala. You got everybody corralled into one side, and then they got them all right where they want them. And it's just bad news. You just wait till I get to the bigger story here with Stargate and the Beast blockchain. I'm almost there. First off, let's just hit on some of these other political points here real quick. AOC trying to tell everybody we don't have to listen to Trump. And I don't know. I just think it's falling on deaf ears. They don't have much of a support crowd behind them over there on the left. I told you, the people chanting and protesting this inauguration in D.C. was a small fraction compared to the last time in years past. And they admitted it.
And one of the most simple things that we can do is just not comply. Today, the Trump administration, and also last night, the Trump administration signed a bunch of illegal executive orders. For example, Donald Trump tried to sign an executive order to end birthright citizenship in this country, which is part of the Constitution. It is day one already trying to shred the foundational documents of American society and try to end birthright citizenship, which basically, as we know, if you are born in the United States, you are a United States citizen. That remains, that is the law, that is the Constitution. And he just tried to sign a piece of paper trying to say no. We don't.
I mean, there's arguments there. There's two sides to everything. Living for Christ Jesus. Thank you for the super chat. Much love. Can't much stand her and all of her establishment shilling all the time. But the point of, if someone is born in America, they are a citizen, right? But if you're in a legal family as they put it, and say you're sitting down by the border and you're right next to the border, and like, but you get into the United States and there's like, how they come in droves. And there's someone that's pregnant there, and she can't make it any further. She's having the child right there, and that baby's born on U.S. soil, but it's illegal. Born of illegals. You see, that doesn't qualify for being born in the United States legitimately. You see, and that's what she's trying to say. They always try to twist everything. You can't, man. It's debatable in different aspects. Let's just put it that way. Depending on the situation, right? On the people. I mean, we're all here from immigrants. We know this. The issue here is people running up in here illegally, raping, murdering people, bringing drugs, illegals, mind you, taking jobs from legal people. They can't get them no more. I'm seeing people in the hoods getting pissed, on the blocks getting pissed. With this whole thing, all these migrants swelling all over the place. They can't get jobs. They can't do this. They're taking over whole buildings. You've heard it. We've reported on it. It's happening in many more cities than just, one or two. It's all across the board. Here's one that I think is funny. Trump removes John Bolton's Secret Service protection. Wonder who else he could flex and do this to. That's a pretty ominous sign right there. When you think that you've got this for the rest of your days, then all of a sudden you get into this political conundrum like he's in. And Trump comes in and just takes your protection away. And they saved some money doing it right there. I'm sure that'll be what Trump says. Well, we saved some money doing it. I can't stand Bolton. He's a war hawk that goes all the way back from many administrations, and he's just that's an establishment goon right there. Straight up. If you're looking for one, what one of them looks like, John Bolton is one. Okay? And there's there's a whole bunch of them. You seen Biden try to pardon Schiff, Cheney. They're all establishment goons. Trying to protect them. Yep. Here's a huge one. Trump says that he will reinstate troops who refused the COVID jabbing. Yep, all of them that got expelled for not taking it and went through all this trial and tribulation. Some people committed suicide and took their lives because they couldn't take all this. Because the whole world crumbled because they refused this. They're no longer with us because of that. There's no restoring that. Trump says that this is going to go down. We've had other officials say the same thing, that this is going to be the move that they make. Wonder what these same troops are going to say when they come back, and then they've got a brand new mRNA sitting in front of them. I'm going to say this. First off, thank you, Brian from NJ, for the coffees. Much love, brother. Oh, since 2011. Hey, much love. Timas. People will react completely different when they see bodies stacked up. I don't know when. Bill Gates actually said 2025 right now is when it was going to happen. And I've prepared for that. I've put the last 5 years of my life, 4 or 5 years of my life, on the grind to survive what's about to happen. I've seen crazy visions. I don't get them all the time, but when I get solid ones, most of the time they come true. And I'm waiting on some here that are hanging in the balance. What I saw gave me options. It showed me a world where, and I've said this several times, where literally there's people taking the dead down to the end of the driveway. So an incinerator truck that comes through is going to pick them up and burn them. Because what is spreading is so lethal. We never saw that. Nothing close, because we went through a beta. You go through beta to test before you do the real thing. Okay? That's a fact. And that's what we lived through. So the big dog, the real one, is coming. It's coming. That's what I fear. And when I seen that, I knew there was going nowhere. Nowhere. You'd be afraid to breathe air through the window from your neighbors. Everybody be so geeked and paranoid. You thought it was bad last time. You won't want to be nowhere near any of it. None of it. I mean, what do you do? Stop and think about this for like 2 damn seconds. What do you do when it's real? And there's bodies everywhere. You're not going to the store. You're not checking the mailbox. You're not doing nothing. You're not touching nothing. Everything will break down. Big time. And there won't be no running to the store to get all these supplies, because there will be bodies. It's be a whole different animal now. And it was enough to where I wasn't taking any chances. I done seen it just put us through a bait. I'm not freaking stupid. So damn right they're gonna do it. So I said, you know what then? We have to go all out to prepare for it. I'm not gonna have this knowledge and then get caught slipping because I was stupid and didn't do nothing. And this is why I do what I do, and I try to share this information with everybody all the time about all these things so they too could prepare. But I've been saying this the whole time, for 5 years, the whole time I've been doing this, to get ready. And so people have known. It's not been a secret. So you've either heard the word and and made the move to prepare, or you've just ignored it and said, I'll do it later, and blew it off, or made an excuse. Look, whenever that card's played, just pick a couple of the wildest movies out there and just mix them together. It's probably what you're gonna get. Something between like a I Am Legend and Songbird, and Leave the World Behind, and all mixed together. Just wait till I get to the next little bit. I'm telling you, this is not good. Got a couple more here. I want to show this. If you guys missed it, I want you to. I want you to see. I want you to see what like a pissed off Melania, if she was looking at you, because she hid her face and her eyes underneath this Michael Jackson type of hat, like the whole time, during this whole thing. But they're in here. the so-called bishop was speaking. This was the service after Trump, all this sworn in. And dude, it's crazy. You can see all his family members giving this lady the eye. Like you look at each and every one of them. They're all like looking like what? But dude, Melania, she looks at her and she doesn't like flinch. Like she locks onto this lady like you're done. Because this lady started bringing up some politics at the service, and they're demanding an apology, saying that this lady owes everybody, the public, everyone, an apology for doing that, politicizing this. So I'm gonna play it so you can see what happened here.
Let me make one final plea, Mr. President. Millions have put their trust in you. And as you told the nation yesterday, you have felt the providential hand of a loving God. In the name of our God, I ask you to have mercy upon the people in our country who are scared now. There are gay, lesbian, and transgender children in Democratic, Republican, and independent families, some who fear for their lives. And the people who pick our crops and clean our office buildings, who labor in poultry farms and meatpacking plants.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna stop it there. You got a taste of it. They had to sit through this whole thing, everybody, in just like this is supposed to be a church type of service and all this other stuff. Transgender. Church. I just thought it was crazy. All right. So, all right. I'm going to start tapping into some of this harder stuff here because this is super important. This is everything we've ever warned of. The beast system. It's being rolled out right in front of your face by the same heroes that they're cheering on, Trump and Elon and company. Now it's glaringly apparent what they're doing. There's been an agenda for all this, and when Trump got in here, they knew what they were going to do right at the gate, and they blew everybody away with all these other topics and this, and they slid this one out, this new Stargate project that connects into all this. So I'm showing you here the U.S. dollar versus crypto. Why? Because they used crypto to soften everybody up to digital currencies, to introduce them, to get people to accept them. This whole time is a whole warm-up for over a decade before they made this full transition in what's about to happen. I'm going to tell you right now, and you can mark this on your calendar, and remember, I've been telling you this since 2017 that this is going to happen. And the video's right here on the channel to prove it. The Fed looks to make a move to incorporate all digital ledgers and to tokenize absolutely everything. March 10th was the initial date for this. You've got to understand what the Fed is again. The Fed, when I'm talking the Fed is not part of the government. Do you understand? It's its own private corporation, an entity. If you're lost in all the other mumbo jumbo, you pull yourself back and get the facts straight on what this whole thing is. Even the U.S., one big corporation. It's actually two different corporations, if you want to get technical about it. And there's this whole thing about admiralty law that they go by, which is the law of the sea, of ocean, not of the land. Jordan Maxwell was great on this, and He laid it all out there really good. R.I.P. What they're about to do is implement the ledger. And they're actually probably going to they may use USDT, which is US Tether. It's going to be shocking to some, but not too shocking to others that knew it. Another cryptocurrency that is going to be utilized by our government more than likely is XRP. And we've known this again. I got guys that have been invested in XRP since we figured this out back before 2017. Because we've seen what it was, where it was going. And guys were like, well, if that's going to be the case, it's going to blow up. So they invested in it. And that's why. But, there's two sides to this. It's like, hold on. But that's going to be the beast blockchain. You want to be a part of that? Ha. Imagine everyone that just heard me say that that's holding XRP now that's like, what the? Hey, you got to face the fire at some point. It's a facts check and how this whole thing's about to get laid out. And why do you think they were going to invest in it? Because XRP was going to be the digital ledger that they could transfer all their money on. If you have ignored this whole crypto thing this whole time, you're just going to get left behind because they're advancing. This whole Stargate thing, overseen by AI, and then pushing the digital dollar into the frame, this is the beast blockchain. This is all of it. This is everything we ever warned you about. And his second day in, Trump is pushing the beast agenda openly. It's like black magic on the masses. He's got them so fooled by the ruse. Fill them up with all these other things over here. They won't be paying attention to this. As soon as the moon goes void, slap this information out there. They'll miss it. And then that's how they operate. I'm telling you, it's all magic. And until you accept that and realize that, you're never going to understand this. You're dealing with witches and warlocks, wizards. Truly. They're tapping into the ether, into the jinn. The jinn are the gargoyle. They are the spirit that are there. They are there. They are there all day long, tempting all of us, because that's what they were created to do. They sacrifice to them, get them to do little deeds, little tricks, and do things that's actually forbidden to do. You were asked to operate through the holy, righteous spirit, the righteous side. And if you are going to do these things, there's rules to the game. The whole Testament of Solomon laid it out and made it clear. You can cast a circle, you can call their name, and you can control the demon and the jinn. But there's rules to the game. You can't use them to fight your enemies and do bad things with them. That's why Solomon used them to build a temple. And it's written. But what you know about that? It really becomes a headbuster when you realize that the Western Wall in Israel was built by non-human entities. It was built by the jinn, and it's written. It's written. Okay? So, anyhow, back to current times. End times, if you will, the beginning, tribulation, because, we're there. We're in some crazy times. Trump going around doing all these peace things. False man of peace, Look, Trump is chosen. Whether you figured it out or not, you love him, you hate him, or this and that, he is chosen. Without a doubt. To be who and what he is, and he knows it. The Hopi prophecy covers it. All of it. The little story of little Baron Trump all the way to Barron. The whole thing that was written over 100 years ago. They brought it into existence. And this man is fulfilling everything that they want because he's got the masses by the nose. Literally, it's like black magic. Okay? You accepted all these other things that they threw out on the table, dozens and dozens of things. But then you just turn a cheek to these other things. Oh, it's just a digital dollar, this and that, blah, blah, blah. Who cares? They don't care that your privacy goes out the window. The cash money will disappear. They're going to phase it out because that's what they're going to do. And look, It ain't got to be a threat. They ain't even got to say nothing. When they implement this new thing that's about to happen, people are just going to stop using the dollar. All the mass, all the youth, and what they're about to do. They're about to digitize it. They're going to tokenize everything. And what that means is putting it on the blockchain. If you don't know, today, and how it's worked for the longest time, through the SWIFT system, if Johnny wants to send Jimmy money in India, for an example, you got to wait 3 to 5 days for that to clear through the banks. It's a slow process, and there's all kinds of expensive fees that are tied into it. This is how the world works. If you were to use XRP on the ledger, what you could do is you would take a token. It doesn't matter what the currency is. It could be the rupee, the ruble, the yuan, the yen, the US dollar. It's just tokenized. It becomes a token, okay? And that token, the digital version of the dollar, backed by assets, same way. It can be sent on the XRP blockchain, which takes seconds, not 3 to 5 days, and charges 0.00005 of a penny per transaction. Okay? Whole world's about to get rocked and shifted. And the Fed is going to implement this, like I said, on the 10th. The Fed is not the federal government. The Fed is its own entity that controls the banks. You got to keep that at the forefront of your mind. You can't let it fall back away and get it confused. They chose that name for a reason, for confusion. But they are their own separate entity. Okay? That controls all this. They're not a part of our government at all. These are facts, man. If you don't know this, and you need to know this because it's because these loopholes are about to pull this whole thing off. Someone, thank you for the 5 coffees. But what does it matter? I just told you that the whole Fed isn't even part of our government, and no one does anything about it. No one ever does anything about anything. They don't protest anymore. They don't do nothing. Okay, so they're just going to sit back, and this whole thing's going to get ushered in because people don't do nothing. The crowd's going to accept it. And when the crowd accepts it, you're smoked. You're the outcast. You're the black sheep. You better stand up and fight. You better find people that think like you and believe. Because if not, you're done. You're on your own, or you're going onto the beast system. That's the option that's ahead of you. Straight ahead, right in front of you. And we're making it clear. Oh, it's crazy up in here. Okay? So, look. It's that time. They're going to make this move. You're a mere a couple months away from the Fed implementing this. And this is all real. Just do the research on it, man. All the stuff that I bring to you. We've been doing this, breathing this for years, day in and day out, of decades. We're there. We're right there. And Trump is the man that showed his hand what they're doing. So, let's go to Davos, the World Economic Forum. You know, if there was a true righteous man, he would be addressing the World Economic Forum and be like, you, and you. Guess what? See them cops coming through the door? Those military dudes? You're going to jail. That would be legendary. That would be historic. That would be a true turning of the tables. Ain't never going to happen. But that's how it should be done. You understand? That's how it should be done. For their crimes against humanity, for their treason, for their plotting on us. And everything under the sun. You'd have them pinned to the wall. We've got the charges stacked up on them. It's just getting them into courtroom. Okay, so what is World Economic Forum talking about? Everybody's talking about a strategic Bitcoin reserve now. Thanks to Trump. So everybody is talking about doing this digitized thing, and they are. Because it's about to be implemented full scale. So here we go. What is Stargate? Stargate is basically a $500 billion over 4-year strategy here where they call it a joint venture between OpenAI, SoftBank, and Oracle, and tens of billions of dollars to redo our infrastructure. And everything will be overseen by AI. Absolutely everything. Everything. This is nightmare scenario. You have no freedom of anything. They will be basically watching absolutely everything through every camera, through everything with AI in real time. Everywhere. I've got some video clips here I should probably pull up and play to preface this. Okay? You need to see this. All this stuff because Larry Ellison speaks on this whole thing here. Again, I put this out on X or on Twitter. Make sure to follow me over there for breaking news and information during the day. And all right, also an update real quick to the lithium battery plant fire. The people, the residents up there are reporting having nosebleeds, lung burning, headaches, rash, a metallic taste in their mouth. Dude, this is bad. They don't know what they're dealing with. The officials are testing the soil samples and everything else because they don't know the exact list of what was the toxins that were burnt off in the whole thing in there. Dude, this is not good. This is like East Palestine up here all over again. It's bad. All right, here we go. We'll play this clip so you can understand where we're at, okay? Everything that's about that has begun. It's begun. They're rolling it out now. It has begun. Okay, but listen to him and when he says here, and thank you, Parker.
The police will be on their best behavior.
Listen.
Because watching and recording everything that's going on. Citizens will be on, the police will be on their best behavior because we're constantly watching and recording everything that's going on. Citizens will be on their best behavior because we're constantly recording and reporting everything that's going on. And it's unimpeachable. The cars have cameras on them. All right, I think we have a squad car here someplace. But those kind of applications using AI, if we can use AI, and we're using AI to monitor the video. So if that altercation that occurred in Memphis, the chief of police would be immediately notified. It's not people that are looking at those cameras, it's AI that's looking at the camera. No, you can't do this. It would be like a shooting. That's gonna be an event that's immediately, an alarm is gonna go off, it's gonna be, and we're gonna have supervision. In other words, every police officer is gonna be supervised.
Listen.
At all times. And the supervision will, and if there's a problem, AI will report the problem and report it to the appropriate person, whether it's the sheriff or the chief or whomever we need to take control of the situation.
Right here.
Same thing, we have drones. If there's something going on in a shopping center, and I'll stop, a drone goes out there, get there way faster than a police car. There's no reason for, by the way, high-speed chases. You shouldn't have high-speed chases between cars. You just have a drone follow the car. I mean, it's very, very simple. And then new generation of autonomous drones.
Oh, what? You mean like the ones that are flying all over the place that our government's been testing? It's exactly it. You will be on your best behavior because you are watched. I'm telling you, it's happening right now. They just haven't told you. It's like an epiphany moment. People are going to become aware and conscious that they're tracked everywhere. And we've known this for some years. LA came out and gave it away some years ago in a story that they ended up erasing. They ended up doing away with it and trying to erase it and bury it like they never reported it. But what was the story? Somebody robbed a bank. And when they ran the segment, they said, well, today's technology with police and with the federal government and all this other stuff, they were saying how they busted this criminal. And what they did, the chief came on there and he goes, yeah, with the stuff we got right here, he goes, we're watching them in real time. The whole city is being watched from satellite in real time. This was years ago. Whole city is being watched from satellite in HD in real time. It's not just the city, it's the whole freaking world. It's the whole country pretty much. But this system pertained to their area. What they did is they zoomed in. They zoomed in to their city, to their area. They went back in time and they hit play where the robber was walking into the bank. Okay? They hit rewind and they followed him back all the way to where he came from. They're watching your every move. You need to realize this. Literally, they're watching your every move. So the man that got busted robbing the bank, that was just a crazy, amazing story. And the fact they admitted all this. And then I got a strike, got the video taken down, and they tried to take the whole thing and wash it down the tubes. Like it never happened. And that was garbage because it did. And it showed clearly why they wanted to put it, because they didn't want everyone to realize that. They didn't want everyone to realize, apparently, at the time. They wanted people to keep on pushing, keep on screwing up, keep on doing what you do so they can sit there and they can track you. Essentially, they've got everybody, everything you've done. Oh, this is a known drug dealer, guy that sells marijuana and other things right here. We know it. And here you are stopping by there like every day, right after you stop by the ATM. And they're going to start doing this to people. And AI is going to be piecing it together and prosecuting you. Now that's unconstitutional and not right, but that's where it's at. And that's what's about to be unraveled here. So this goes even deeper. This goes deeper. It's all on the AI. Let me play this. Listen very closely to this, because this gives it all away.
All of our cancers, cancer tumors, little fragments of those tumors float around in your blood. So you can do early cancer detection. If you can do using AI, you can do early cancer detection with a blood test. And using AI to look at the blood test, you can find the cancers that are actually seriously threatening the person. So we can, again, cancer diagnosis using AI has the promise of just being a simple blood test. Then beyond that, once we gene sequence that cancer tumor, you can then vaccinate the person, design a vaccine for every individual person to vaccinate them against that cancer. And you can make that vaccine, that mRNA vaccine, you can make that robotically, again, using AI in about 48 hours. So imagine early cancer detection, the development of a cancer vaccine for your particular cancer aimed at you, and have that vaccine available in 48 hours.
They've got it all. Do you understand where we're at? And you wonder why Russia just came out and made their announcement with the whole cancer. It's because it's where we're at. They were like, we're going to beat you to the punch. They wanted to take credit for the first ones, just like a race to the moon. They wanted to take the credit for being the first ones, and they did. They jumped out there right before this whole announcement, and they said that they had one. And it's all the same stuff. It's the same thing. It's the same stuff. And it's going through the mRNA, everything. I'm telling you, this is it. And who is presenting this? Who on day 2 is rolling all this stuff out? The Trump administration. The Trump regime. Okay? So, John, thank you for the coffees. Much love. God bless. This is Project Stargate. This is it. This is rolling out AI in our lives, full scale, overseeing everything. It's scary. Remember 6-7 months ago, Elon Musk, all of them were like, oh no, you got to delay the rollout of AI at least 6 months. Everyone was like spazzing, like, you got to delay it. And, well, we've rolled past that. And here we are. Like, about right after that time frame. Here it is. Okay? Everything is unraveling. There's not a coincidence that the whole Fed thing is going down here in a month and a half or so, or within there. It could happen before then. That was just the target deadline date. So AI is about to be unleashed on absolutely everything. And the scary part here is that they're going to want everyone to give up their DNA so that you can be gene sequenced, and that they can specifically make something that's manicured to your genes. It's tailored to you. See how he's pitching it? And AI is going to be able to go in there and look right at your blood and see if there's anything in there, like instantly, and all this other stuff. Meaning that right there tells you if you've got cancer or not. Meaning they've known this the whole time. This is criminal in a way, but I mean, at some point it had to come out. It was going to be packaged somehow and pushed. Here it is, man. You're talking about the cancer cure and finding cancer in all this. Like, but notice this is what they've saved this moment to push this mRNA on the masses. Well, they'll surely accept it. The dumbass guy. We just package it this way. We try. When AI is overseeing all this, Elon even warned about it. He even said it. Here's one that I got to play since I'm on my page. This is as you can see, planned attacks coming. Listen.
I was out with OMG with James O'Keefe in the California desert, and April was out there too. And she's really good at finding stuff on the ground. She finds money, all this other stuff. She found an unlocked phone from a Syrian man when we happened to have a guy from Iraq on the crew with us who spoke Arabic. And we're going through this phone. There's Telegram, voice messages. There's all this stuff. Calls are coming. We charged the phone because it was dead. Calls are coming in. They're still going, hey, are you here? Have you gotten to San Diego yet? And I ran this by one of my good buddies who's high speed military guy. And he goes, dude, that's a cell. So basically there was this guy that kept calling teacher who was in Turkey. And these were Syrian men going, teacher, where do we go now? We're trying to get close to San Diego. And they go, okay, this guy's going to take you here. This guy knows Spanish and Arabic. So you're going to meet up with this guy. Try to get to San Diego as fast as you can. There was no calls on there going, hey, mom, I made it. I've seen plenty of illegal aliens, Cubans and stuff come across, and they do what Auden B. Cabello calls the selfie effect, which is, hey, look, I just crossed the river. Hey, mom. Hi, dad, which brings more people. There was none of that. This was strictly business.
Interesting, huh? It's interesting, but I start asking questions like, how do you just find a phone like that on the ground? Like, especially you all, that group, James O'Keefe and them. How do you just find? And some of those stories that sound really good that just really no way to validate it and prove any of it. They didn't show the phone. He didn't show, and see. But is it true? Could be. Very well could be. And that's pretty crazy. That it's not surprising at this point. We're inundated with criminal migrants that are all over the place. And over 1 million Chinese that are in here waiting to attack. So let me wrap this up, though, on the Stargate thing. Stargate AI is basically going to be incorporating AI into every aspect of our life, as you just seen. And it's also going to tie into the financial aspect. Like, this is going to take over everything. It's going to rock everything. In more ways than I think people can even wrap their head around at this point. It just is. It's begun. So I just explained to you everything. You've seen the video clips, everything, where this is going. It's the Gentile Messiah, Donald Trump. He's the one bringing it to you. $500 billion investment. This is huge. It's a huge move. All right, I'm going to keep it pushing. Trump. Doing a lot, obviously, because he just got in there and doing a lot of things that affect us all. He pardons Silk Road founder Ross Ulbricht. And lets him out after he spent 11 years in prison. If you don't know, Ross is the guy that made the original Silk Road, pretty much. What is Silk Road? It was a website where people could go and trade all types of stuff. And there were rules set in place. But people broke those rules. And all people had to really do in the end is lie. But that's on them. And as the argument goes, if a club owner or owners are sitting there and, it's another night at the club and it's business as usual, and the police come in and they take down some people doing drugs in there, right? Then they should take down those people doing the drugs or whatever, dealing drugs, and take them out and then keep on pushing. Well, this is tantamount of the police coming in, taking down the people, and then turning around and taking down the owners of the club as well for it. Because Ross was unaware of all the crimes that these people were doing. If someone was trading something and lying about what they were really selling, there was really, again, that's on the people for lying. They're doing the bad thing. He just created the site for it to take place, and people were paying for all these transactions with Bitcoin, which in the end, they traced back to all these different things, and that's how he got busted. Now he goes to prison, and people are like, oh, Satoshi's not the government. Like, you're You're stupid. It's them. It's the NSA. We've known this. And they've proven it time and time again. They've put people away with it. It's like, dude, they've got you investing your money in it in a 401k so they could steal it all when this dump comes. I told you. Great takings coming. Warned you about all of it. But this guy's free. Which is, in that sense, the way I see it, all the crimes committed on the site, it's very similar. Like, I'm not a huge fan of, I'm not the biggest fan of Kim.com, but Kim.com's like, was the same thing. He might want to wish that he already got turned himself in now, because he's on the run. He lives in New Zealand, running from the government that want him for similar things. He had Mega Upload, which was a site that allowed people to do all the stuff. And they were uploading things they shouldn't have been. Again, those people should have got in trouble, not Kim.com. But the government wants Kim.com, just like they wanted Ross Ulbricht here. They wanted to hang the man, make an example out of him, which isn't fair. They weren't committing a crime. If they were committing a crime, if you caught them actually doing something on there, committing a crime on it, then that's different. But that's not the case. So, what if it was you? What if it was you? So Trump says he's going around the globe doing this Gentile Messiah thing. And thank you, Parker. And he's strong-arming people like a boss. And he's looking at Venezuela again right at the gate. And he's looking down at them. And he's just like, we don't need your oil. We ain't even going to buy it. We don't need it. We've got other places to get it. And I'm telling you, Venezuela has been like a thorn in their side because they've attempted to go down there and have regime change and all this other stuff, and it just hasn't worked. They haven't been able to get control like they've wanted, and overthrow things. But they don't like Maduro. They want someone else in there. But we'll see what happens there. We'll see. Surprisingly, there could be some military things pop up that people weren't thinking were going to happen. Let's get to Fauci. I got an honest question. If you did nothing wrong and someone gives you a preemptive pardon, and you can sit there and kind of laugh at it and snicker, I appreciate that, but I did nothing wrong. If you were truly innocent in that case, I don't think you would accept it. You wouldn't accept the pardon. I didn't do nothing, and accepting it makes me look guilty. And you would say those things. You would do things an innocent person would do and say. You don't see none of that. This is a good question, but he won't do it. Oh, none of these people will. Every one of them are taking it without a question. Not a single one of them turning down the pardon. And again, they're getting the pardon because they're presumed to be guilty. They're covering their tail. Come on. This isn't rocket science. So here's a huge thing. The pardon that he got was a federal pardon. You got to remember the power that the states have. And the states can go after him. And that's how it's got to be done. So, Rand Paul talks a huge game on holding him accountable and still going after him and all this. Well, let's do it then. And do it with the state then. Do it with Kentucky. Do it then, big boy. Put your money where your mouth is. See it. Get this man in a court of law. Let's do it. We got the good stacked against him, just like Gates. But you won't see it happen. It's all Rand's on Jesuit command. This whole world's a damn stage. You can't fall in love with these characters. They got a character for every size, color, and shape. That you could think of. One that you'll fall in love with, or you'll like, or you'll resonate with. This net that controls so many. And that's the tentacles of the beast. A lot of people have sold out at this point here on this planet. So it's not going to be too hard when they implement the system. A lot of people are just going to go right onto it. You're about to witness it. Everything we've ever talked about. When this whole system is rolled out. Digital. And this is a good question. Was Biden actually China's Manchurian candidate the entire time? It kind of seemed like it, right? Because all the business dealings, every single thing, we're done right now. We're done. If you would ever say that, like, we're invaded and someone's inside of every aspect of our country, it's now, and it's China. Again, they're in our telecoms, they're in our water, they're in the energy grid, they're in transportation, they're in every single thing you can think of. And Christopher Wray said this, but they never did anything to stop them. Like, you're telling me that you're looking in your systems and you found that they got out, but you did not go in to try to take it out. This is a set up. It's a setup. Bigger than anything. They come out and try to tell you something like that, thinking we're all just idiots. Well, you didn't do nothing to stop it. It's like saying you discovered bombs inside all these places, but see ya, I'm out. For real. That's tantamount to what he said. Like, this place is about to get attacked, it's about to get crippled, and it's a setup job. And again, Christopher Wray's guilty. You ask me, he's guilty. How could he not be? He just told you all this. Said they're in all these places, but they did nothing to stop it. Nothing to stop it. So they're still there. Oh, and they're also next to all of our bases. How come no one cares? Trump won't say a word about it, will not address it, just like he won't give an update about the drones that he said he would. You have to keep pressing him until he spills the beans on it. Biden and them sold us out huge with China. Dude, we are done. There's troops in this country all over the place. They're trained to do things, and you ain't even got standing militias no more. Again, it goes back to the black magic part. This whole Trump thing broke them down. Man, back in 2014, 15, 16, that's like, Bundy Ranch was designed, I feel now to look back, to break up the whole movement, to start to do that. And then the whole wildlife refuge just scared the crap out of anyone that was militia and patriots. They did. They sure did. And I watched it and lived through every bit of it, every step of the damn way. Okay, fast forward all the way up to J6 and the whole huge honeypot there. You could see they've set traps everywhere. They set traps on our patriots to scare the crap out of them, and dismantle them. And again, we have no huge militia nowhere. There's no the Texas militia or the Kansas militia that stands out. I'm sure there are militias out there, but they're doing nothing like they were years ago. There's no huge movement. There's no one flexing. You can't even see no one, find anyone on video or anything. It's like, what the? So when you look at it, what happened to them all? They all got dissolved into the Trump movement. You see how that works? And they spent their weekends and all their free time not rallying like they should have been traditionally, but they were going to a Trump rally. It co-opted the whole thing. It slid in and snatched them all up. And man, I expose all these things here tonight about what Trump and them's doing. And it sickens me that even people that I know, that I come to like in this life, hear this information we dropped tonight and they'll turn a cheek to it. They won't say a word. They won't like a tweet that I put out on it. They won't do nothing. They'll act like it doesn't exist. They won't face the fire on it. And that's garbage. It's absolute garbage. So, you know how it always goes. People come and they go. So people that are easily supporting, when we're exposing that the beast system's about to get implemented, and other people are still over here like Trump train, blah, 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 and all this other crap. And as I said earlier, cock-riding, brown-nosing, all these people on social media, it's sickening. It's the beast. When we're exposing people as the beast and working for the beast, look, we get it. Biden and Kamala weren't to be voted for. They were the worst of the two picks. But dude, you don't vote for no evil. And you gotta stand on it. Not be so small-minded you fell for the trap. But that's what they wanted to do. They set the perfect trap. Say, hey, let's run these people they absolutely hate and make them hate them. You know? And this was all tactical. Biden and them had to get in there and do what they did. You couldn't have got in all the troops, as I say, all the illegals. You couldn't have got them in here without this going the way that it did. They needed that window. They needed this 4 years of just stuffing them in here. So now they're all over the place. And they gave them an excuse now to have to get them out, which is, the whole thing's ridiculous. When you look at it, take a step back and you look at it, it's all ploy. This whole thing is what Jade Helm was all organized for. Okay? So now we're in a national emergency. Oh, yes, we are right now. And it's just begun, where the military has just now been sent down to the border, everything being changed, and they've designated the cartels as a terrorist organization, meaning they can bomb them. They can hit them with drones. They can hit them with Apache helicopters from 100 miles away. They won't even see them. It's about to get crazy. You just wait in the coming days and weeks, okay? When it comes to that. What about the Chinese troops that are in here, though? Dude, what have I reported on the past couple weeks? Couple shows in a row. Multiple stories of nothing but Chinese getting found. In Florida. In one, they pulled them over and they were in just like a U-Haul van, a whole this stuffed in it. In another, they pulled up in a boat right in the beach in broad daylight, got out and started running up the beach and hopped into another vehicle and tried to take off. But because so many people seen them, they got stopped. It was the same thing. All Chinese. Same Chinese that are right up next to our military bases with property, which should be absolutely illegal, absolutely treasonous. Top of the list, red flag, but nobody seems to care. Trump is just ignoring it. He's just ignoring it. He's acting like this ICE team. He's putting more focus on the cartels and putting all the rest on Homan, is what he's doing in terms of these ICE teams. CCP cyber attacks. They ain't even begun. Like, yeah, they have. They're in everywhere, I guess you could say. But is that a cyber attack? I don't think so. What is a cyber attack? A cyber attack is when something gets hit and it gets crippled. So it hasn't even happened full scale yet. This event is going to happen. The question here is, are these going to be, some of these things going to be separate events, or are they going to go down together? Like multifaceted. You could say that if they launch a cyber attack full scale to be truly effective, you would do it across everywhere that you're embedded. That's what you would do. One day you hit them hard, you hit them everywhere. Hit them everywhere at once. It's not just like we've been reporting for the past couple years. It's the hospital sector over here. It's the energy sector over there. They're ransoming. No, now it's everywhere. They just told us that they've hacked into the DOD's wiretaps. They hacked into freaking Janet Yellen's Treasury Department emails. Everything. They're everywhere. They're absolutely everywhere. And so they say, right? Why would you let them be everywhere? Why would you not defend it? Come on now. Why are we not like organized? Like, if this is the real world, and like we run the show. Then like tonight, I've got a team organized to go down to every single base. If I'm the commander in chief, I want to report back from every single base. I want them to go out, and I want them to go right on the other side of the fence, and I want them to scour and find out, get satellite footage, get the drones up, every square inch of the property that the Chinese control next to our bases. I want it all scoured. I want it all filmed. I want it all, everything. Do you understand me? That's what you do when you really care. Not ignore it. There's something nefarious with it when they ignore it. Something bad is going to happen. This is the bad guy. This is the boogeyman they're going to point the finger at. The seeds have been planted. The state just said. We've been sold out. And you can go back and blame it on this Biden administration, this and that. Look how many damn pardons they just went out and come on, dude, this is a setup. So, this brings me to the man of peace, Trump. He is supposed to be the one getting a deal going with Putin and them, and I got a funny feeling it's going to happen. The world is a stage. Russia saying, look, they're going to keep what places they got. I see Trump being down with that, but he hasn't given every detail of his peace plan. He's hinted at details here, but he basically says, look, if you want to do it, let's do it now. Russia admits it's like a small window of opportunity, and it's like now. So I expect that within the coming weeks, you're going to see big announcements made here. And of course, Trump's playing hardball. He's basically saying, look, you got to escalate to de-escalate. He's putting pressure on them, basically saying, look, if you don't want to do this, then we're going to go the other way. He's doing something he said in the beginning he would never do. When he was running, he said, we'll actually accelerate sending arms to Ukraine, if that's the case. Or let's end it right now, the whole damn thing. And I think Russia's going to be satisfied with claiming new territory, ending this thing. There's not much more they're going to gain out of anything. Advancing toward Kiev. I mean, then you're going to run head on into NATO at some point there. Mushroom clouds are going to pop. We'll see. I feel like Trump is set up to be, they're doing this so he can be, for the record books, this man of peace. False. Man of peace. And he's doing it. This is all set up, man. Look, when that Jewish rabbi came out and told you that he is their Gentile Messiah, dude, you wonder why people are out here saying that he's the AC and that Elon's like the false prophet or vice versa. You know how many people are saying that and seeing this now? I'm going to tell you that the Antichrist is a conglomerate. Is there a head? I feel yes. It's their Messiah. And he's here. He's here. And people just keep missing it. They just keep missing it. Because there's not a spotlight on him. But he's here. He's breathing. He's performing miracles. He is the Yanuka. He is the Torah genius. I've told you, he is the one that's going to sit in the temple. As soon as it is built and they're ready to start building, and they'll probably do it now that Trump's in there. He's here. It's crazy. And Trump is supposed to be handing over the United States into this new empire, like bringing it to I don't know how he explained it. Like, basically, there's going to be a new system where Israel's running it at the forefront of the whole world. And their Messiah will sit on a throne, and that Trump will deliver America to him in this new pact. That's how I said it. This is how they think. This is what they are doing. The rest of this is a sham. Zelensky says he needs 200,000 soldiers to secure a peace deal. Screw this dude. I can't wait till we never hear of him again as well. And I thought that this one was worth mentioning. Russia and Iran sign a partnership that they say may be a game changer, but it's only for gas, and they specifically put out there that it's not for geopolitics or military or anything like that. Highlighting that it's not for military is pretty important there, because Trump put out a tweet earlier, or a post on Truth Social, and he says, look, I don't want to attack the Russian people. And he mentioned in it that it was because of Russia joining us that we won World War II. And man, he said it for a reason. It was ticker taped in there for a reason. And the only way, let me tell you, if we buddied up with Russia, if we became like we were at the end of World War II, like we got each other's back in World War, that's what counts. Like, and we won it. It would do China in and the whole other side so bad. It would, but, I mean, Russia's a formidable foe. They've got to block China, Russia, India, all of BRICS. It's swelled so much. They kind of like already outgun us, especially in terms of manpower and all this other stuff. Russia's got these brand new hypersonic missiles that can't nobody stop. Ain't nobody proving it. Then we can go on and talk about the high-tech technologies and all this other crap, but out here on the world stage, on display, on the battlefields, and everything that we've seen, ain't nobody been able to stop them. And China's got them too now. And they've got these stealth mock drones that float around like a stealth bomber, but they're drones. And they're crazy. They get past as UFOs. And this is what they're all working with, man. Like, these drones were definitely our government. Again, has FAA lights on it. It's not aliens. It's not the enemy. It was them, obviously, going over all these sensitive sites. And to me, they were testing. They were practicing. Doing a lot, because that's where they can do it. That's their territory. And notice that even out of the country, it was over American bases. It was, but when it's them doing it, doing the testing, then that's the place that they get away with it. They couldn't do it over a Russian base or Chinese base. You didn't hear those stories. It was over the American bases, because it was them doing it. And as far as we know, it could have been taking off from the same damn base. Like, it's military. It's classified. You don't know. And back in the backfield of the farthest building inside the compound, butted up next to the woods where no one could see. That's where they're launching from. You just never know. And no one has yet to show proof of where these things are taking off from and landing. I'm telling you, man. Like, it needs to be uncovered. It would be bombshell. It would be absolutely bombshell. No one's been able to do it yet. Can you believe that? No one has been able to do it yet. It's like a challenge that needs to be met. Oh man, if I had the means, these are the things that I would do. This would not even be a question anymore. I'd have done spent days, weeks, whatever, if that wasn't the issue, the means of getting there, and I could go and I could find a place to stay and rent a boat and get out in the ocean and try to track these things down and just spend every evening chasing them. We would figure it out. I'm telling you. I seen somebody went out in a boat and I applaud them, but they said that they just kept going, kind of like the same thing our military said, that these things, they kept going. Our helicopters in aircraft would follow them, and they would have to land to get fuel, and these things would keep going. It's pretty much the dude in the boat said, like, they just went way out there following them, and they seen them, and it was like almost like they disappeared. They just kept going over into the horizon out in the ocean to where eventually it's going to look like they went into the water if they didn't. But they don't know because it's outrunning them. One of these days, one of these drones will come down, and we'll back engineer it, and we'll know, and we won't say a freaking word to nobody, and we'll just gain the knowledge and have it for us. Somebody's got to do something. The government's not ever going to tell us. If so, it's going to be way late and to their benefit. I want to point out here also that on the world stage, a lot of these undersea cables have been getting cut. The UK trying to say that a Russian spy ship has entered those waters and loitered over the undersea cables. Now, this next one says the undersea cable damage in the Baltic Sea, the results of accidents, not Russian sabotage. So, Washington Post now changing its tune, and they're not blaming Russia or China in this, trying to say that they were accidents, which is garbage. We know China's been doing it strategically and doing it militarily. All right, we've got 1,500 active duty troops on the border. And I'm going to finish up here with this. I got this talk here on these ICE teams. They're going across the country, and it's begun. You may see them. We know Chicago, New York were targeted, but it could be any sanctuary city.
Based on your initial schedule, that today roundups of criminal illegal aliens in the process of deporting them would begin. That seems to have been put on hold for a little while. When can we expect that to happen? Where will it begin?
No, it started.
It has started.
ICE teams are out there as of today. We gave them the direction to prioritize public safety threats that we're looking for. So we've been working up the target list. There was some discussion about Chicago because the Pacific operational plan was released. So we had to look at and reevaluate, does this raise officer safety concerns? And it does. Mm-hmm. But we've addressed that, and teams are all effective today.
Based on you.
And they've been given authority to shoot to kill in these situations, and it's on. So these raids are going down. It begins. They say that the federal government has authorized the arrest of illegal immigrants at schools and churches. So I want to make that clear here tonight at the end of this. When you start to hear stories, and you're going to, especially if you're around a sanctuary city, of these teams coming into people's works, jobs, locations, warehouses, things of that nature, it's going to happen. It's already begun. You're going to hear crazy stuff that's going down. But now they're allowed to go into schools and churches. This is going to be some, schools and churches. This is going to have ICE teams rolling in a church service, disrupting it. Like you in the back of the pew. What's your name? Let's see some ID. How about you? Let's see some ID. Everybody. We got word that there was blah, 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 and we got to make sure under President Trump's orders and blah, blah, blah. That's how it's going to go down. You kidding me? Same thing in the schools. Freaking kids out and all this other stuff. Are you kidding me? I warned you. About this stuff. Okay? And what happens if bird flu or something breaks loose? The real deadly event, as I told you earlier. What happens? All these teams transition not to immigrants, but to anyone. I see it. This has been the dress rehearsal. This has been the setup, the excuse to get these teams in motion. You had to first let everyone come in for 4 years into the Biden administration, you see. Get them all in here to have the excuse to even release these teams. Because if this place wasn't full of migrants, back 2015, 2016, if there was talks of ICE teams being released, people would have been flipping out. But like now, they're docile. The black magic again. They don't seem to get it or see it. That these teams are about to infiltrate everywhere. It's already begun. And we're in a national emergency. And there's a war now on our border. Like, in the blink of an eye, if bodies start to drop because of a real disease, these teams will be strategically rounding up people that don't comply, that are purebloods. That's what it is. A bunch of us are about to get cut off from the world, dude. It's not a good feeling. This whole thing's a trap. Screw Trump. Screw them all. We said it this whole time. They're all in on it. They led you into this trap. They're definitely not doing God's work. They led you right into the beast system. They're going to take everyone deep into it. And all the people with red hats will follow him. Just as the Hopi prophecy said. Do you see now? This is as real as it gets. You're in them times. These guys are... Call them what you want. You can argue who's the AC and the false prophet and all these other things, the little horn. All these little things. I know that there's this devious stuff at play. The beast is being rolled out, and I can see who's doing it pretty clearly. And I ain't making no excuses. And see, I can say that because I never attached myself to no idol. To no American Idol. To no Trump. Anyone that did, he's become their savior. And they can't detach themselves at this point. Right now would be the time. You got it. He won. Okay, you got your victory. He's in. Get it. But you got to be honest about some things. And it's time to awaken to the whole thing. And to accept it, this left-right paradigm. And when you start seeing atrocities and evils being rolled out right in front of your face, you cannot turn a cheek to that. Or you're guilty. There's a line being drawn in the sand. Again, those that are going to go right on the beast system It's going to be all kinds of friends and family, and even purebloods and people that told you this whole time that they were rioters are going to do all this. You watch. They'll buckle. When they're left starving, you can't get nothing at the store. You can't get nothing nowhere because that's what is about to happen. They'll think long and hard about their own family members will hate them. Why are we living like this? Why don't we just go get, like our friends and everyone else, just go get the damn card the government's going to give us and get food. Get the mark. Get the inoculation. See how it's going to turn? Anybody that's truly looking to ride this out in the end, to the death, because it's the only way out, is riding it to the end. Just as Yeshua did, Jesus, he showed you. All the way to the end. You can't fear the death. We all die. And they're going to use that, obviously, to scare everybody. Everybody does it different. China took all the guns, killed tens of millions of people. In America here, to get their way this time, only way I can explain it is black magic. It's end time, high scale, black magic. And remember, we're in a satanic window. It began on the 20th. The high satanic day began that day, and it runs all week. We're still in it. So all these days, he's writing off EOs and all these things all week long. It's a huge celebration for them. It's the truth. Just look it up. I live this life in hopes that I can master all the things that tempt me, and that I can overcome them and show those watching the Most High that is viewing all this and all the prophets, all the angels, all the good guys, the team, I want to impress. I don't want to fail. I don't want to be looked at as just not worth saving. You got to put in the work. What if I was watching? What would I expect out of someone? I expect them to fight the good fight. I put myself in those shoes, and therefore I have to walk that out. And that's the way I look to hopefully earn a spot in another life, in another world, and in a good existence. That's my belief. 1,000 years in a fresh body with good souls, where you ain't got to worry about none of this. That's paradise to me. That's heaven to me. That's what's worth it to me. Advancing, not getting regurgitated in the soul trap. Get your consciousness wiped and ran back through. Yeah. Every single time you come in here, it's amnesia. And it is. It wouldn't work if you remembered all your past lives or anything like that. And you're born into amniotic fluid. The sac of fluid is amnesia fluid. That's how this whole thing is designed, man. All right, man. That's enough, I guess. I love y'all. Take us out of here. It's about that consciousness and being aware. Gaining it. Not using excuses, man. I don't know. You're right. Many will fail. Put in all this work, man, but always been for the remnant. Much love to all you guys out there that keep it true and fight the fight. Again, I love you guys. Be safe. Look to be back. The next one here on Friday. God willing. One of these days, it's going to be the last one before the event. And comms will be down and all this stuff. So, have a plan. Stick with it. Much love, y'all. See you on the flip side. Thank you, mods, for holding it down. Much love to everybody out there that shares the stream, everybody that supports the stream, all the coffees, all the super chats, all the memberships. Appreciate it to the fullest, more than you know. In Eon, absolutely legendary, man. I mean it, man. No one like it. Thank you so much. Christ is King. God bless. Walk right.